Yo, 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 what it do, folks? What's good? What's good, man? Fine P Net News Network. Young Champ. I'm Chizzy on everything. Make sure this camera all right. All right. So as y'all see in the thumbnail and the title, Kamala Harris went on Fox News last night. Stepped in the lines then, you hear me. And it wasn't a good look for her. That's all I'll say for real. That's being nice for real. So what I'm gonna do, instead of playing it for you, I'm gonna just play a little bit of the feedback that they got from it because it was only 26 minutes. And if I play it, it's gonna be about an hour long. So I'm gonna let Fox News, because that's where she went, I'm gonna let them go ahead and elaborate on it, and then I'm gonna get a couple more reactions from other people. And I mean, like and subscribe. Thank you to all my subscribers that been rocking out with me. I know I'm still on my road to 500, but if you could just like that joint when you come in, and if you could just hit that subscribe button, I swear that'll be so appreciative. I'll be so appreciative of that. Yeah, so let me get into this real quick and let y'all just get a little bit of this up in y'all early in the morning. Shout out to the Trump voters because Kamala,
for Carolina, they're joining that big.
Okay, here we go. Now watch the spin game. This lady is a tactical spinster, but she ain't really good with it. She be trying.
Her first formal sit-down interview with Fox News as vice president.
And with less than 3 weeks to the election day, the
running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office. Come on.
What the fuck do that mean?
Interview at times. As head of the interview, though, Brett says it had to quickly be wrapped up after her team signaled to him to stop.
There are critics who look hard here.
Rapping me very hard here.
What you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are
Boom. You heard that? He kept that shit funky. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. But you ain't say a damn thing about yourself, miss. That's what we came to meet.
There are a lot of things.
There's more to say. I have
There
much more to
are a
say.
lot, Madam Vice President.
And
they're giving me a hard rap.
Well, I thank you for the time.
Okay. Prior to that moment, Harris faced several tough, direct questions like how her presidency would differ from the current Biden-Harris administration.
So you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency.
Anytime she say, let me be very clear, that means there's some bullshit incoming. I'm talking about anytime she say, I was very clear. And let me be very clear. That means bullshit incoming. So keep your bullshit guards up.
Presidency. And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership.
Bullshit.
For example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C.
Your campaign slogan is a new way forward.
Shout out to Amala, because when she did hers, they did a drinking game on how many times she would lie, how many times she would blame something on Trump, and how many times she would say new leadership or any of her talking points, scripted joints. And they was fucked up. They was sitting like a motherfucker, and it was only a 26-minute video.
And it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade, the kind of rhetoric, Donald Trump, that has been designed and implemented to divide our country.
Soon as she said burden, everybody and their mother gasped because they was like, burdened by what has been. That's all they was thinking about. But this answer just as bad. It's basically the same thing. She just added more words. We've been burdened by the last 10 years of rhetoric from Donald Trump. And bitch, we've been burdened by these motherfucking immigrants taking all the jobs and motherfucking flooding these countries and raping our women. And that's the fucking shit that's been burdening us. And that shit ain't got nothing to do with Trump. But watch the spin. She about to spin this shit for you.
Country and have Americans literally point fingers at each other.
Madam
That
Vice
is
President, more than
turning the page.
70% of people
That is
tell
about turning the
pollsters,
page on rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Brett.
You've been in office.
I'm exhausted of this interview of you keep talking about Donald Trump. That's all I'm exhausted of. Yeah, we exhausted of the rhetoric, but we exhausted from the Democratic Party. Donald Trump only just talking about the things that have happened within the last administration. That is all. He ain't really tripping off all the shit from before. He ain't tripping off nothing that you be saying. He just tripping off of how fucked up the country is. You is in fucking power and you're not doing shit, but you keep making promises of shit that you should have done 3.5 years ago. That's it, but I digress.
For 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
The right question.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm
I actually don't. What are you talking about? Like, bitch, I don't know what you're talking about. Donald Trump been running for office since what? He won. He was just the president in 2016 to 19. So what are you talking about, lady? Because last time I checked, you probably are the highest sitting government official at this point if Biden is out to lunch. Oh man, I can't wait for y'all to see when they ask her about Biden being out to lunch, because her new thing to say now is that Donald Trump is deranged and he's not stable, he's mentally unstable. Bitch, if you were my psychiatrist, I would fucking sue you, because for you to be sitting next to Biden all these fucking years and you keep talking about he's sharp as a tack, you don't need to be talking about nobody's stability at this point.
talking about is that over the last decade,
But you're
people
the
have
lever of
become,
power.
but listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me.
That's the only thing she got to fall on. She got to keep bringing back. She got to keep bringing back the fact that she got a couple Republicans to fuck with Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney. Nobody likes none of them. You went and got a bunch. That's a bunch of unpopular motherfuckers to come fuck with you, and you keep on banking on it. You better off keep on shouting out Obama. But you gotta say Republicans, because that'll make it seem like it's division amongst the party. Donald Trump don't fuck with them Republicans. He is his own kind of Republican. They have separated the parties. You got Republicans and you got Trump Republicans. So we're not gonna do that. And Liz Cheney and fucking Dick Cheney don't fall in neither one. Nobody likes them.
The former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president. One, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous.
So when we had Bret Baier on yesterday to preview the big conversation with Kamala Harris, one of the things I noted is that what Bret Baier is really good when it comes down to the research. And we saw that yesterday because it was question after question based on her record and prior statements. And I got to be honest, she didn't meet the moment in the sense of having a response to those questions, but I think it was a better format for Kamala Harris versus some of the softball interviews that she's gotten. At least she rose to the occasion in the sense of wanting to fight back. And so if you're on the left, maybe you applaud her. But if you're someone that's been waiting.
I really don't feel like she fought back. I feel like she got very contentious and lost her cool because of the questions that were coming. They was not softball questions. They was questions that American people really want answers to. So I don't really want to call that fighting back. I feel like that was like a defense mechanism more than fighting back. Like we wasn't attacking you, we was just asking you questions and then you weren't answering them. So we don't have a lot of time. Like shout out to Brett. Brett only had 20. They said it was 30 minutes. They broke it down to 20. She came late. So it was just like so much bullshit to try to run the time up so he couldn't really grill her. He said he had 75 questions. He only asked her about maybe 6, 7 because she really was just dodging and filibustering and running up the time, breathing real long between her answers so that the more time she could burn. My bad, guy.
Waiting for the big interview, then you thank Brett Baer for asking those tough questions.
I was glad he pressed her on. You've been the one that's been in office for 3.5 years. And then it was almost that moment where she said, but I haven't been to Europe either. When she said, but Donald Trump was running. He said, but you're the one in office. You're the one that we're turning to for change. You want to turn the
I'm
page.
trying to figure out what does Donald Trump running for office have anything to do with the question that they asked you. That's the crazy thing to me why I feel like this shit was a dumpster fire. Because not only this ain't the only bad question. She got a few, but this one was one of the ones like, what do you mean Donald Trump was running? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like, I'm so lost. That just lost me for real. I ain't even realize my light went out. Go ahead.
But this is what you've stood for. He said in 2019, when you ran for president, you wanted to allow immigrants to apply for driver's licenses, free tuition, free health care. Do you still support that? Kamala said that was 5 years ago. I will follow the laws. And then Brett said, but do you support this? She hesitated and she said, we are clear. We will support federal law.
Right. And,
that is the most copping out shit I ever heard in my life. Oh, yeah, we're clear. We'll support federal law. Girl, shut your ass up. Man, what are you talking about? Like, she be killing me with that, bro. I mean, at some point, you got to answer some of these people questions. People ain't just going to keep on letting you just say the minimum things and then you think that shit is going to pan out to votes. I don't even understand what she thought she was doing by going on here. I think it was just a play for her to be able to say she did. And I guarantee you that later today, I'm gonna get some footage that's gonna say, oh yeah, Brett Baer was so mean and he kept cutting her off and he just was so masculine and misogynistic, and they gonna give him all that for real, because that's the thing. That's why Trump couldn't really batter her down in the debate like he wanted to, because anything that he say that's official or true, they gonna say it's an attack on women. But shout out to Brett Baer, because he definitely kept the temperature in an area where it was contentious, but he kept on trying to bring it back to let her know, like, look, it's not personal. These are the questions I need to ask. That's the kind of vibe he was giving. He even stopped her, like, look, we're talking over each other. I don't want to do that. I apologize. Right. And I want to have a conversation and have the conversation, but answer the question. That's all we ask you to do, man. We just want you to answer the question.
Means nothing.
Yesterday when Brett was on with us, as you alluded to, Lawrence,
Change the law.
We talked a little, and as soon as he asked the first question and she went into an answer that we've heard a million times, it was like she was reading a teleprompter. About 20 seconds in, he tried to refocus her on the actual question. And it was back and forth the whole time. I'll tell you this, if you and your family set this up as a drinking game before it started and you said, okay, every time she says Donald Trump, I'm going to take a shot, you would have been so
Smashed.
yeah, I'm
Smashed.
That's a good word. I would say 10 minutes in, because she
Straight up, man. Go back and watch Amala channel, yo. Amala was so smashed. That was the perfect word, because every answer was like Donald Trump though. But Donald Trump though, it became obvious when he said, you've been running. I mean, you've been the president, you've been in office. Yeah, but Donald Trump's running. So what? That's not the question. Like, that shit was killing me with the question, bro. I ain't gonna lie. This shit's starting to be insulting to American people. We all like, come on, miss. Like, what are you doing? Like, at this point, I think they throwing her. I think they trying to throw her at this point. I don't think her advisors are wanting her or trying to let her win this race, because how in the hell are you still talking about Donald Trump? Do you watch TV? Do you watch the reports and the polls and the shit that's going on, updating you on this race? Because miss, you're not winning. And for you, like I feel like you understand you're not winning. That's why you here. But you ain't helping yourself none. Absolutely not helping yourself, not even a little bit. Well, let's go.
Every time the going got tough, she went to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think the campaign said we want to be able to say we've done a tough interview. Okay, they check that box.
Yep.
They also say, Tim Walz has done a couple of interviews on Fox News Sunday back to back. The campaign, Brian Fallon put out a statement and he said that they reached an audience last night that do not hear a lot directly from her, and she showed her toughness. So I think they think it was a win.
But the question that really I think is going to be played everywhere was when Bret Baier asked a direct question: when did you know about the diminished faculties of the current president of the United States?
And she turned to Donald Trump.
And she went to Donald Trump, and there was a huge pause there.
Yes, it
As if
was.
she was not expecting.
Please show the clip, y'all, because she paused, and that told the whole story.
That question, but the answer was not sufficient enough, especially when what we witnessed, Ainsley, on the debate stage.
Right. Well, and I was watching Bret last night on Sean's show, and Sean was saying, you were supposed to do this interview at 5. He said she didn't walk out until 5:17. She knew he had a live show at 6 o'clock.
Right.
She knew that he had to turn this. We had to.
She was fucking stalling. She was trying to burn as much time as she could. That way, he only could ask a few questions, and she could long win the shit out the answer, burn the time, get out of there.
Get it into the tape room so that we could push play on that at 6 o'clock. She knew how stressful that would be for the staff, the team, and she knew she could eat into some of her time that she had promised Bret Baier. Bret said we were supposed to have 25 minutes, and she only gave us 20 minutes. And he said, I don't like interrupting, but I had to interrupt a lot because she was filibustering. She just kept talking and talking about things I wasn't necessarily asking her about. He said, so I had to interrupt. But he said, if I hadn't interrupted, we would have probably gotten 4 questions in. 5 minutes per question. He said, so I had 75 questions prepared.
Right. He was very well prepared, and he asked a lot of questions throughout the 26 minutes. One of the ways that Donald Trump has really made some hay in the last couple of weeks is with an ad talking about how she supports surgery for prisoners, gender changing surgery. And he asked her about that. And once again, she started an answer and then she mentioned Donald Trump. Watch.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law. And it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis to people in the federal prison system. And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing, stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aides say that he never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transition.
Now watch how she carried a fact check for real. But this is the part that got me. Anytime she get fact checked, watch what she do. She don't never clarify the fact. All she do is try to loud talk over you, turn to a victim, and then keep it pushing. Watch this.
Well, you know what? You got to take responsible for what happened in your administration.
Yeah. Boom. You got to take responsibility for what happened in your administration, bitch. That is the key. She always do that. Yo, Trump always make a whole ad off of just watching her. He ain't even got to spend no money for actors or none of that shit. All he got to do is watch her. There it is right there. Let's run it for you real quick. What time for your mind? This is going to be the next Trump ad.
No gender transition
well,
surgery.
You got to
happened
take
during his-
responsible for what
his
happened in your
presidency.
administration.
Yeah,
I
no
take
surgeries happened in his
responsibility for
presidency.
It's in
So
black and white.
would you still
No surgery happens during this man presidency. You peep that? You peep how he said that, and she tried to run it. Oh, it's in black and white. Show me the black and white, bitch. I come from the show me the papers, show me the receipts, bitch. If you say it's in black and white, show me, because Trump don't be with that shit. It wouldn't make sense to me. One thing about Trump we can't argue is he is who he is, and he do not like that type of shit. He don't like women and men and women sports. He don't like immigrants that don't belong here, and he definitely ain't paying for no goddamn surgeries for no prisoners. So stop the cat.
What happened in your administration?
Yeah, no surgeries happened in this
It's
presidency.
in
So
black and white.
would you still advocate for using taxpayer dollars for gender reassignment
I will
surgeries?
follow the law.
Obviously, she didn't
Follow the law.
answer.
I will follow the law. That's gonna be her go-to right there. And that shit right there is crazy to me. I will follow the law. Bitch, you the president. Bitch, you make the law. Fuck are you talking about? You'll follow the law. That's the wildest shit I ever heard as an excuse. I will follow the law. I will follow the law, the federal law. She tried to switch it one time, just switched it a little bit. It's federal law. And bitch, bye. Like, come on, bro. And I feel like, he asked some hard-hitting questions, but he was very, very, very respectful. Way more respectful than I would expect Fox News to be. So they sent the right guy in there, because anybody else would have badgered her. They wouldn't have get to wrap it up, because she had her team wrapping it up. They seen that shit was a shit show. They was like, ho, we need to wrap this shit up, wrap it up. Come on, y'all, get it over with. And he could have just kept pushing, but he a professional. He gave it to her like, you know what? Go ahead. You ain't answering no questions, no way. Go ahead. Bye. You just hurt yourself.
Answer Ainsley the yes or no question, which is, do you support taxpayer funds going to gender reassignment? But that, I mean, she always traps herself. That last line, you got to take responsibility in your administration. So some million folks, record inflation in this country, grocery prices going up, an economy that is not bouncing back. Maybe if you like the stock market, then you're happy with it. But if you're going to the grocery store, is she responsible since this is her administration?
Yeah, I mean, she keeps saying, I'll follow the law. I'll follow the law in the gender transitioning surgeries and prison. I'll follow the law when it comes to the border. Well, you have access to the law if you're the vice president. If you're running for president and you become president, you can change the laws.
Right.
There are executive orders, and they did away with most of Donald Trump's executive orders when it came to immigration. And Brett knows the facts, and Brett really pressed her on this and said, what about immigration? How many have crossed the border under your administration? She couldn't answer that. She pivoted and changed the subject. But she mentioned the amnesty bill again. And Brett said that would have given 11 million illegals amnesty, a pathway to citizenship. Because when she's asked about immigration, on day one,
The thing
right
right
after
there.
hours within
That's
us.
the thing. People don't go dig into them bills, bro. She don't even dig into them bills. When yo wanted to ask her about the bill, she said, yeah, well, you could just go to KamalaHarris.com and it got all my bills there if anybody want to read it. Did you read it, bitch? Did you just sign it? Because at this point, I don't believe nothing you say. The fact that you can't give a nigga one concrete answer, not just one. That's all. I ain't asking for a lot. Just answer one question. The one question she could have answered was, when did you realize Biden was losing his fucking nut, losing his mind? Or you could have just answered, what would you do different from Biden? You can't answer these things. This is what she do with her hands. I gotta do like my man. Hers is weird. She get the Trump shit be solid and firm. Where are Hunter Biden's files? Where's my apology from CNN and 60 Minutes? Huh? These terrible people. These just terrible people. You know, that's the type of game. Like, you gotta be firm when you be moving them hand gestures. You gotta make somebody feel them. Her hand gestures be like, well, it's really like every time she get to making hand gestures, like she under fire. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not like she really like standing firm. It's a bunch of try to get you this is endearing. This is so I can make you feel my heart. Like, yeah, because we got dreams and aspirations. And then she get to go, and I don't know what the fuck this is right here, like, because it's so much, and it's just, because we get burdened by what has been, by what can be. Like, yo, what are you doing, miss? All right, that's enough of Fox News. They go on for a little while for real, but it's hella more people on here. Like, I think I should have just did a video last night, but I was a little tired. But I kept waking up in the middle of the night, and I just was watching footage all night. Like, look, you can just watch my look at my history. I just was pretty much watching footage all night of people reacting to this. I watched it live with
we have everything.
my man
we
name.
need
He was
and
just on
do our-
Piers Morgan for real. I stumbled upon his pod. No, matter of fact, I watched him afterwards. I watched it live with the dude who owned Rumble. He was there. Whatever show I watched, I'm gonna try to shout him out real quick because they was official. Here it go right here. I think. Yep. It's We Are Change. The channel is called We Are Change. Yeah, check him out, yo. I like him. I mean, he promoting free speech. He had the owner of Rumble, which is another platform that I'm thinking about switching to because I keep getting all these flags and just different little censorship tactics, I call them, because why are y'all telling me what I can say? Like, I can say whatever the fuck I want, as long as I'm not purposely offending nobody or no groups of people or anything of that nature. I can speak my motherfucking my piece. Like, y'all ain't even trying to let nigga speak his piece. So I think I'm ready to go fuck with Rumble, because that nigga, he definitely protecting the First Amendment. That's what his whole podcast is built on, and it's a young dude. So that's I like helping young dudes get to it. I like being part of something that's involved dudes my age and younger. Not saying nothing wrong with older dudes, but I like to be part of the future building. So YouTube cool, but I think I'm ready to fuck with Rumble. StreamYard is cool, but Rumble, they pumping out free speech. StreamYard haven't robbed me for nothing, but I did get a flag on YouTube through StreamYard for talking about something that had to do with COVID. But nonetheless, I'm gonna just go ahead and just let y'all just check out another probably couple minutes, these clips, these people just roasting this lady, man. I was gonna go on X, but
well said. Look, President Biden, can you believe he's apparently still running the country? He's around and he's been speaking in Pennsylvania, and he seems to be holding on to hope that Donald.
There's 3 other major cases waiting for him, and he loses. And by the way, 34 felonies. So far, he had good sentence. He got the sentence kicked back. But I want to watch that sentence.
I'm saying,
Donald Trump's
see,
not running.
this back to what my man said when he said, yo, they weaponizing government, bro. How the fuck why are you worrying about my case, bro? All right, you can use it to say that about me, but for you to say you're gonna be watching my sentence and you the president, that's like y'all colluding to do something to me. Like, why are you even that concerned? You guys judges, that's their job. Let them do their job as far as my case. Don't you be butting in my case, bro. That's crazy, bro. I just was watching something like that. Matter of fact, Tulsa King, yo, he had a case for some bullshit. They was trying to send him to jail, and the fucking top state's attorney dude took the case. Like, basically was like, yeah, I'm taking this. And they like, why is you taking this petty case? Oh, because I did. Like, bro, mind your business. Let them people do their job. You out here colluding. It was collusion then. Think it's collusion now. You heard me.
If he was running for himself, I think he's running to stay out of jail.
Think he's running
Still
to stay
hard
out
to
of
make
jail.
any sense of what he says.
Come on, man. Did Joe Biden just wake up from his nap time there? I mean, this is so pathetic on the part of Kamala Harris and her campaign that is trying to have Joe Biden, people like Bill Clinton, Barack Obama come out of retirement environment. I know Joe Biden is still our sitting president. That's very hard
Once
for your
again, these
university
people is
to
from
comprehend
the,
ice cream because
you
having
know,
these people, again, like a Bill Clinton or Barack Obama on the campaign trail is actually only hurting the Kamala Harris campaign and making Americans more aware of how there is no good Democrats that actually care
None.
about the American agenda.
Yeah, I think the more that Joe Biden speaks and Bill Clinton speaks, we're just seeing the support for Kamala Harris go down. It'll be interesting
More
to see what
Donald
happens.
Trump ads, actually. More
Yeah,
Donald
that's
Trump
true.
ads.
He's just got so much material. But on Joe Biden, he spoke
hit
with
that.
Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky this week, discussing efforts to boost security aid to Ukraine.
What I'm going to do next is I want to go see the propaganda sites. I want to see who had something combative to say about this interview. I want to see what ABC got to say. I want to see what CNN got to say. I want to see what the ones that's leaning on her side got to say, because I guarantee you any amount of money they're going to make a fine excuse, and they're going to definitely try to scold on my man, Brett Baer. They're going to try to kill him for cutting her off. But watch, he was doing y'all a favor too. He was cutting her off because she was going to say the same bullshit that she been saying to y'all. And I know y'all tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing it. And I've been trying to get a lady a fair chance, but I'm tired of hearing it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. She keep talking that same nonsense, bro. Nonsense. Nah, look, here go the money that they was lying about. When she tried to say this was the first one, right? This was the first joint. Get them some more money. Biden administration announced additional security assistance for Ukraine. This is October 16th. This is today. It was yesterday. What? That's what I'm saying. So meanwhile, you out here campaigning while y'all giving more money away. Like, while people fucked up.
Really minimal government assistance.
I think this outraged all Americans who heard this news today. Sending millions to Ukraine, sending $157 million to Lebanon recently, billions of dollars spent on welcoming illegals into this country. And yet we have American tax-paying citizens that are struggling, that just had their livelihoods wiped away by these two hurricanes. And what do they get? A lousy $750 and zero help from this administration. I think every American has every right to ask questions, demand answers, and be completely outraged. But how much longer
are we going to let this
go on? I hope
I ain't even really look at it earlier. I was just listening.
Disastrous decisions by the Biden administration to the minute they put that piece of paper in the ballot box, because they are absolutely correlated here. This is a result of the disastrous administration that keeps putting us into crises after crises, funding their elite agenda and proxy wars. And I think Americans are waking up, and we are quite frankly sick of it.
Finally, we know people on the left are just obsessed with Donald Trump.
She summed that shit up in a nutshell just now. She wasn't fucking around. I support everything she just said, for real, because that's the truth. We understand that now. Like, once we understand this shit, it's a wrap. There's nothing you can say once we start understanding the games y'all playing. And people is feeling it. The fact that people feeling it, that's what make people care. If people don't feel it, they don't care, and then they kind of just vote like it's like going through the motions, for real. Like, that's where it come to the party, and that's where the Democrats been dicking us for so long, because what they do is, if shit is okay for a certain amount of time, it's always the right time. It's like right around the time when you gotta get your vote together. Should it be okay? Should it be fair? So instead of you complaining about what the other side did, you content with shit being okay, hopes that shit will get better. But this time around, we got the advantage of actually getting to see both sides, how shit is with both sides in the office. Trump, he had a rocky road, but that's where it comes to the part of it's the grass ain't always green on the other side. When we think about some of the shit that really affect us, that's the thing. It's like you complain about this, but this not a big deal when this is a problem. You get what I'm saying? I think overall, the money is the key. If the money is a problem, everything is a problem after that. Nothing, no other problems really matter until you solve the money first. Economy got to be the first order of business. Then it got to be immigration, because it's the money and the population go hand in hand. The money wouldn't be scarce if it wasn't overpopulated with people who don't belong here. So those two things go hand in hand. That's why they're the biggest issues that everybody keep on talking about. It's way more issues that people have that's lower level issues, but those two are the ones that we are feeling at this point in time right now. So when we go back to Trump, when we think about the Trump time when he was president during his administration, those things weren't an issue. We had other dumbass issues, but at this point, we'll take those other dumbass issues over that one. That's a big issue that affects everybody. So if you can't fix that issue, fuck that. We want to complain about something less, because we gonna complain regardless. They never gonna please everybody. But I just feel like the fact that everybody complaining about the same thing right now, that is the problem. And that is a thing that we wasn't complaining about. Like them or hate them, we wasn't complaining about economy, and we wasn't complaining about jobs and overpopulation. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna get up out of here. But I'm about to go find some ABC clips and CNN, and yeah, I want to see what the lefties got to say about this, because they gonna be sick. Like and subscribe, yo. Please help me get to this 500. And man, I know I've been a little unstagnant lately. I've been trying to let it build up, but we getting closer to election time, so I'm gonna try to burn out. You heard me?